Okay, so if we go back to February, all right, the pandemic was bearing down upon us, and I think it was really clear that this was going to be a really big challenge. And I think one of the things that helped Illinois from the beginning stand out in the capacity for our response is we had tremendous leadership. So Chancellor Jones, Provost Congelaris, and Vice Chancellor Susan Martinez, and so many others, President Tim Killeen, all made it clear that the goal was to find a way to open and stay open as safely as possible in the fall. And as we were sending our students home, we were already planning how do we bring them back as safely as possible so that we can re-engage in a fall semester. And I think the key driver here is a passionate understanding and commitment that our mission as a land-grant institution is to serve the public good and to teach our students and to perform frontier research and engage with our community. I mean, this is what we are charged to do. And we were committed to finding a way to do that as safely as possible to make sure we could fulfill our land-grant mission while still, of course, dealing with the tremendous challenge that the pandemic represents. And I think that visionary leadership to ask whether or not it was possible to do this, the bold question to say, we think we can find a way, and to then have the courage to invest and to commit to doing everything we could to find a solution. That was an absolutely key takeoff point. The other thing I'll just say at the outset, we didn't know it at the time, but Carle, Illinois, for years had been working to prepare for this pandemic. I think at Illinois, we had, for several years prior to, 2020, had laid the foundation for being able to respond to this extraordinary challenge, because Carle, Illinois catalyzed a tremendous cross-disciplinary ecosystem to allow extraordinary innovation on demand, rapid, high impact, meaningful innovation, where we could bring together expertise from across disciplines, across our entire campus. It's like all the connection points had been laid down. The tracks were there, right? The nodes existed. And because of Carle, Illinois, and because we had this world-class, unmatched ecosystem for cross-disciplinary innovation in place, we were able to leverage that and respond in an extraordinary, challenging, urgent situation to what, of course, has turned out to be a global health crisis. And I think this is really the story of Carle, Illinois, is that we create a unique ecosystem for innovation in healthcare. And when challenges strike, we can respond with tremendous innovation that can move the needle. The other thing I can add is that the actual takeoff point was a phone call in April, one evening from Provost Congelaris, who called me up and asked if I would lead a team to stand up and strategically deploy highly scalable testing as part of the university's overarching strategy to try to reopen as safely as possible in the fall. And it was very clear at the outset in that phone call, we discussed this, testing was going to be really important, but testing is not a silver bullet. We were going to need a comprehensive, holistic approach. And this was, I think, one of the key things that we got right early on, was to recognize that testing had to be enveloped in a comprehensive framework, which included data science and frontier communication to be able to maximally leverage that testing capability to mitigate spread of the disease, right? So that's different than testing to track the disease. We wanted to go on offense and use testing as a key component of an overarching comprehensive strategy. And so that phone call was the takeoff point. And the first thing I did was reach out to my very good friend and colleague, Paul Hergenrother, who has just been a tremendous partner throughout this entire process, as well as we reached out to Tim Phan, who in the Department of Veterinary Medicine, in the College of Veterinary Medicine, and then so many others across campus, including many Carle, Illinois faculty and staff, as you pointed out, to create a great team to go after this.